Hi traders, and welcome to another strategy segment of my channel. So today I'm going to talk about support and resistance. And there are 4 simple tips that you need to look at for designing support points and resistance points. So the first would just be simple technical analysis. What you want to look at for a possible resistance point, as we can see here, is has this point been touched as either support or resistance in the past? And if we just look here, we can see that it has. This point right here has a lot of confluence. It was support here, it was consolidation here, and it became resistance here, and if we didn't know what happened after this, we can imagine that it would likely become resistance again here. So the second thing you want to look at is the money flow index. And what you see here is this is overbought at this resistance point. So when this resistance point is touched again, and we see that MFI is still overbought, we can expect that price is likely going to come down. The third thing you want to look at is the depth of market. So that would be looking at the bid or offer walls. For example, if you had seen that, let's say, this was you were at this point in time, and you had seen that there were 30 Bitcoin to be sold at 2851.15. You can imagine that price would likely come down because there would not be enough buying pressure for price to go up above this resistance point. This would also be confirmed by looking at the order history. If you had looked at the order history at this point and seen that nearly all traders were selling with not many traders buying, we can expect that this would become a resistance point. The next thing you want to look at for designing support and resistance is the depth of market here. So you want to look at this right here and this too. These two things are the same thing, and they're just a visual representation of the order book right here. So what I like to do is I like to get a horizontal line out and draw possible support and resistance points while I'm scalping. So as you can see, the depth of market does highlight certain price points that would become pivots or support and resistance, and they fluctuate a lot as the orders fluctuate with them. But recurring points should be noted. These points can be easily identified by just looking at the visual representation of the order book and seeing what points jut out. Those points that jut out likely have a lot of Bitcoin to be bought or sold. As you can see here, we have a moving downward resistance point, as you can see, with a lot of selling pressure that's pushing this move down and will likely continue to push it down lower. So what I would do here is I would label that 2788, as you can see here, as possible, right here, as possible future resistance. And I would also label the 2813.31, let's find where that is, 2813.31, which seems to be at about here, as another possible resistance point. So now moving forward, as I trade, I can see that these 2 points might act as future resistance. So that's it. You just have to use the 4 tips that I've given you for designing support and resistance: technical analysis, looking at the MFI, and then of course looking at the bid and offer walls and the order history. And additionally, what I just introduced you guys to is looking at the visual representation of the order book. And that's another way that you can label possible resistance or support points. I hope you learned in this video, and leave a question.